Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com, and today I want to give you another teaching in the Destroying the Poverty Mentality series. I want to reiterate how poverty is more a mentality than anything else. You may think it's a lack of money, but the reality is that when people are poor and they have that poverty mentality, because not everybody's poor has a poverty mentality, but most do. But when they have that poverty mentality, it doesn't matter how much money they get, they will wind up losing it, spending it, making bad investments. Something will happen where it'll disappear. This happens all the time in lottery winners because the type of people who would buy lottery tickets and gamble like that in the first place are not going to get rid of that poverty mentality just because they got a lot of money. And they'll make the unwise decisions that got them to the place of poverty in the first place, or kept them there, kept them from excelling and doing better in life. Regardless of how much money they get, they will wind up getting back to that position of poverty. That's what a poverty mentality does for you. And many people have this. And one of the ideas is that you must save more. If you're really going to make any money, you're going to have a good retirement, quote unquote, which retirement is a trapping of the poverty mentality as well. That you work for 40 years in order to then enjoy life after 40 years, which is ridiculous. You then have money. You then live like somebody that's middle class or rich instead of doing it right here and now. And so the common idea is that you must save more. Coupons, stopping eating out, which may be good for your health, but if you're doing it only for financial reasons, it's not a wise decision. It's a poverty decision. It's a poverty mentality based decision, because your purpose in doing or not doing something is based around money and the lack thereof that you perceive exists, and the lack of abundance that you perceive exists in the world. And that makes up your decision, not what you really want to do. Now you may say, well, I'm poor. How in the world can I make a decision to purchase something that I can't afford? Well, you don't. But the problem is that people are scrimping and saving, living well below their means, instead of having the prosperity consciousness, the mindset, the mentality of prosperity and abundance, where you see the abundance, that infinite abundance that's all around you in God's universe, and you say, you know what? I don't need to live below my means. I need to increase my means. This idea that you're just going to save more and save yourself into riches doesn't happen. You may not even live to your 65 or 70 where you can enjoy this $100 a month you set aside for 40 years. This is a foolish way of thinking. It's poverty mentality. And yes, it's easy when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars a year you can set aside and save. That's easy. But when you're poor and you have a poverty mentality, saving $10 is not going to do much for your actual financial future. It may be good temporarily, but what good has it really done? And when you're cutting coupons to save $1, that same time could have been spent making $5, making $10, making $20, making $50. I've seen people who spend hours cutting out coupons that they're only going to use a few of them. They save a few dollars, and they spend hours of their time for a few dollars, instead of spending hours of their time earning more money, coming up with an idea that's going to bring in more revenue. And you may say, well, I don't have any money to get my ideas to make revenue. You don't need money. There are ideas right here and now you can have that only require your time and effort. They may require no money at all. Someone may give you the tools you need to create the item or to get the business going. You have no idea until you get out there and start taking action. But the fundamental flaw is that you're thinking you're just going to save money. Just saving money, that's how you're going to get out of the poverty trap that you're in, out of living from paycheck to paycheck, out of indebtedness or whatever it may be that's keeping you where you are. And meanwhile, those aren't the real problems. The real problem is the mentality where you don't look for the opportunities that are available to you. All the options that are everywhere, you see a limited tiny world where you have very little options, almost no opportunities, and the world's working against you. That's the poverty mentality. That's what it kind of brings into you. You may say something contrary to that, but that's really where the poverty mentality brings people to. And in thinking that way, they eliminate the opportunities in their lives. Not that they're not there anymore, but they'll never see them. They'll never, ever see them. And every single day, they are walking past or driving past or riding a bus past opportunities that are plainly in sight that no one else is taking any action on, that they could be taking action on right now. And it wouldn't require any money. It would just require effort and a little bit of time put toward that endeavor. Now, what that may be could be anything, but that's where your time is best spent. Not saving money, not cutting coupons and avoiding drinking a coffee in the morning or whatever it may be that you're trying to just scrimp and save money. Now, I understand if that's what you have to do because you just don't have any money. I've been there. I know that exact feeling. It wasn't terribly long ago when I was living in a house and I didn't even have electricity because I couldn't afford to get it turned on. It wasn't that it got turned off. I couldn't afford to get it turned on. I moved in there and I couldn't afford to get it turned on. I know what poverty is like. I was eating peanut butter sandwiches with day-old bread, dollar store peanut butter, ramen noodles. That was my meal. I understand poverty. I know having no money and perceiving that you have no options, when in reality you have tremendous amounts of options and opportunities all around you. But as long as you have that mentality that the only way I can really make money is to save the money I have, how is you saving $10 or $20 or $30 a month going to actually contribute to you being wealthy someday? It will never happen. And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm saying that because the approach is completely wrong. You're going about wealth and riches that God promises to you and will bless you with the exact wrong way. The way that will keep you from ever enjoying those things, ever having His benefits, ever having the abundance that God provides for His children. As long as you have this saver mentality. I'm not saying that you avoid saving. You absolutely should have money set aside. But here's the important thing. You're not doing it to have that be your wealth. Your source is God, and He provides, and there's an abundance out there that you may be missing. And you'll have these people tell you, well, you need to get out of debt, and you got to do this, and you have to do that. You need to set money aside and invest in real estate, invest in bonds, and invest. If you're poor, you can't invest in any of that stuff. Doesn't even make any sense. How is my $10 a month or $20 a month I'm able to save through cutting coupons and eating poverty food going to buy me a house? If you have no credit or you have bad credit because you're poor and you have $20, no one's going to give you a loan to buy a house that you're going to turn into some real estate empire. It's not going to happen. People are telling you nonsense and lies that are dependent upon already having money. And you'll never even get to that point because you're being told all these contradictory things that do not work toward wealth. Yes, real estate works toward wealth, but if you're cutting coupons and saving $10 a month, you'll never get there. What you have to do, instead of being concerned with saving, is change it around. People are telling you, I got this all the time, and I should have realized when I got to be an adult how wrong it was. I got told constantly, you got to live below your means and save some money. That way you'll have something in case there's a rainy day. You got to have a rainy day fund. All this nonsense. But I was listening to poor people. What do they know about money? They're poor. If I listen to them, I'm going to get their results, which is terrible results. I don't want their results. And I did listen to them for a while. Luckily, early on in my adulthood, I got rid of some of that. Not all of it, but I got rid of some of it. Enough to realize, wait, instead of saving a bunch of money, I need to increase my income. I need to do things that are going to bring about more money instead of trying to save pennies here and there. I need to bring dollars extra into my income. And when you change that mentality and you start thinking, how can I bring more money in, not how can I save more money, and please understand, I'm not telling you to go waste money, spend it and throw it around and completely be irresponsible with your money. Absolutely not. But you'll never get anywhere just saving your way to riches. That kind of dream, that fantasy world scenario, the only way it works is if everything continues good as it is now, and you save for 40 or 50 years, and then when you're old and decrepit and you can barely do anything, you can't enjoy life because your life is spent talking about all the illnesses you have, because you haven't taken care of yourself, because you've been living poor your entire life up to this point in order to save for a pathetic retirement. My friends, that's not a way to live. And that's the way many people are going to wind up heading down that path, and it is a path to ruin. It's not a path to wealth and riches. It's a path to ruin, and it's folly. It is absolutely a fool's errand to go down that path, to follow that quote-unquote traditional wisdom, which is not wisdom at all. It's error. You'll never save your way to riches. And if you have to spend 40 years of your life to enjoy 5 years of it, that doesn't sound like a good trade-off. Now, I'm not suggesting you're just going to be living your life and partying and traveling the world and living a rock star kind of lifestyle. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about having an enjoyable life where your needs and wants are met. You can bless other people and be an actual contributor to your community and to people around you. When somebody has a need, you're there to meet it, and you're a true blessing. You can't do that when you're the one with your hand out needing something. But when you're the one able to stick your hand out and give to people, you're a true blessing. And you should be that. I'm not criticizing you if you're poor. I've been extremely poor. Probably actually had experienced more poverty than almost anyone listening. And I don't say that as some sort of, oh, poor me. No. But I know where people are coming from. I know the mentality because I had that mentality. And it took me years and years and years to work it out, to look at things and approach life differently and realize how wrong all that was. How wrong all the traditional wisdom was as far as money, finances, how to live your life, how to best bless the world, how to be a blessing in Christ. None of that stuff was being taught truthfully. So today, when you're cutting a coupon out, or when you're trying to save money and buy some generic off-brand food because you think you can't afford the name brand food, which is the one you actually want. Now, if you want the off-name brand, that's fine. But if you're only buying it because you think you can't afford the good one, the one you really want, change that thinking. Look for the opportunities. How can you make more money? Listen, here's one thing. Giving that food for an example. Well, what if you bought some of the generic one and sold it to other people? And then the proceeds from that, the profit you get from that, you can then in turn buy the name brand one that you actually want. Obviously, that's a tiny, tiny, tiny example. But my point is, there's all kinds of opportunities. Everything you look at, everything you're doing all day long, there's all kinds of opportunities waiting right there if you'll just simply take them. Take the opportunities that lead you to more income, more revenue, more wealth, not the ones that are leading you just to save a bunch of money. And in many cases, if you're poor, save very little money that really doesn't accomplish anything. If you're going to save $100 or $200 over the course of a year, you don't think all that time spent scrimping and saving and living poorer than you really are, that you couldn't have done something or figured something out to earn another $100 or $200 that you're trying to save? I bet you probably could. And I bet there's opportunities every single day that you do not see, you're not aware of, that you'll now start seeing, and you'll start taking advantage of a few of them. And you'll see your wealth skyrocket. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.